Okay, welcome back. Thanks again for joining us. And I'm actually excited about this. I have not tried this out just yet. This is the
GearVR.
GearVR. Well,
So
basically, I'm gonna let you take over that one.
So I'd upgrade my phone back in March. I found out if I bought the Samsung Galaxy S7, not the Note 7, this will not blow up.
This is the one that explodes in your pocket.
This is not the one that will explode in my pocket.
All right.
If I bought this one, I could get a free GearVR.
How long do you think before Apple comes out with this exact same thing for Apple?
A couple of years. They like to wait.
That long?
Well, they like to think and make it perfect. They don't want a half-baked product to come out.
Have you seen the iPhone 6? They do not care about it being perfect.
You mean 7?
Either way.
So.
All right. Oh, it's upside down. Okay, so do you think this feature alone is worth going with the Samsung? Because I've been an Apple kind of guy, and you have always been kind of not.
My thing is, if you want to tinker your phone, you buy an Android. If you just want it to work, you buy it.
I like the solid feel of the iPhone. That's kind of why I went with the iPhone every time so far. But I do think the features are a little bit cooler. It made a noise.
Yeah. Well, once you put it in your head, it will detect it's on your head and it'll start.
What? It knows if it's on me?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my first. Whoa. That's so cool.
There's a dial on top that adjusts for.
Where's the remote? It doesn't have a.
Well, you have two options.
You got a Facebook message from Tara. Okay, so tap the touchpad to acknowledge. Oh, I got to do this first.
Yeah.
Oh, what just happened? Oh, it went black. All right, so.
What do you see?
Right now, nothing. Oh, nope. Samsung VR just came up.
Yeah.
So it's doing its boot sequence thing now.
Mm-hmm.
This is neat though, because it's like I feel like I'm in a theater almost. But like I can tell that it's and if you turn your head, like there's a pointer, I can read the terms and conditions. As I turn my head, it points at the different things. Like this is staying still, but my head is actually moving, and there's a little tiny dot in the center. And wait, do I hit the? Yeah. Oh, I did it. All right.
Sometimes some of the things use the controller, other things use the thing on the side. But if you tap the one button on the bottom,
fresh feature. What? It's like I'm in a room. Science, technology, celebrities, lifestyle, film and entertainment. Oh, Peach Dragon's coming out. News and documentary. Fresh.
Did you open an app?
I didn't open anything yet. I don't know what I'm in. Oh, wait, there's stuff along the bottom, too. VR, 360 VR. The night before? That's, are these, like, movie previews or something?
There's apps, there's games, there's all sorts of stuff in there. Basically, it's like you're looking around. If you push that button there, that will, like, get you...
All right, so what do I want to go into? What do you recommend?
Just...
News and documentary. Oh, we're going into it.
Just fumble around.
One Dark Night, CNN, USA Today. This is really cool. This is like the neatest thing ever. I've never actually done anything virtual reality before.
Well, this is basically
Dark Night.
This is maybe 2 steps above like Poor's Possibility, because there's a Google Cardboard that came out a couple of years ago.
There's too many options. I don't want to do it. We're gonna go. Okay, we're just gonna pick what's in front of me. All right.
You'll explain what you're saying because I can't record that.
Okay, so basically it's a bunch of different screens. It's almost like it feels like you're in a movie theater. Oh, now I'm in the desert. And there's screen, and as I turn, there's more screens all the way through. There's a wall back there, and so I have something like I don't know, like 8 screens surrounding me, and every time I turn my head, they stay still. I'm literally turning my head in this room, and each one has a different option of something you can go into. So I think I just went into like CNN, I went into the fresh products or something to that effect. So now I can't read that word. It's in Spanish. City of Funk. Oh, City of Funk. We're going into City of Funk. And now I can watch a video. Whoa. I'm like on a staircase, and I'm looking down, and there's the city. There's a wire up there. And there's a smudge. I think it's a bird sitting on that. And you can see up in the sky, there's a telephone pole right here. Okay, so I still have my screen right here in the center. So I can stream, I can react, I can flag, I can download. Let's not download, let's stream City of Funk. This is awesome!
So here's a question. You've seen those commercials for the Gear VR, and you see how excited they were. Are you...
I'm on stage. I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, we just froze up.
Probably buffering.
Yes. But I want to there's... She's like singing in my face, and I'm not enjoying that. But there's a whole crowd in front of me here, and it's not like you don't feel like you're there, but you are there.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Well, now what's going on now? We've got that's not English. Okay, I got subtitles, and I didn't really want to read. So
there's a back button on up top on the
top.
Yeah.
Okay, this is. So now we're going back. So that was pretty cool. But you were like right on stage. There's a lot. Okay, so let's go into one more, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, ready for the 100? Sierra.
What I like to do, I go onto YouTube when I find movie trailers and I watch them because I feel like I'm sitting in the theater when I watch them.
Oh, we should have done that.
Okay, the thing is, you got to go find it. It's a lot of work. I wish they would clean that up a little bit.
We believed this would last forever.
And so now I'm looking at like these are just like it's a photos thing. It's
a distance of 23 kilometers or some 15 miles.
Oh, I'm in the Grand Canyon or something. No, it's definitely not the Grand Canyon, but I'm in a helicopter. There's a helicopter. All right, let's go back from that one. No, wow, no, that is amazing. That's like because you really are in it. You're it's neat. It's you know you're watching a video, and so you're not getting vertigo. It doesn't throw you off. You don't feel like you're going to fall over anything. At the one point, I was at the top of a set of stairs, and I'm looking down, and I can see the stairs going down. But it's more than 360 though. It is, but it's up, it's down, it's left, it's right, it's everywhere.
My only complaint, like I said, one thing I love about going to the theater is watching movie trailers for movies about to come out. Because you get that giant screen to watch stuff on.
Yes.
And you get that same effect if you go into YouTube and you watch trailers. But I've noticed something that happens is based on where you're sitting, like if I'm looking in this direction, there might be some drift. Like if I look over and look back, it might move. So next movie trailer I starts over here. So I got to turn.
Yes, I did notice when I did the one that it started over here, I had to then turn this way. Like it didn't center itself back out. But I didn't really feel like anything was moving on me. But it wasn't quite 3D either. Like I expected it to kind of feel like, because you were getting two different pictures at once, I expected it to be a little more. And I don't know if there's some other options or maybe there's some stuff.
I mean, it's that the GearVR is about a year and a half, maybe.
Right. I didn't feel like I could reach out and grab anything. Like it was all right there. Like I saw it and it was it was either in the distance or it was close up.
There's the Oculus Rift, which came out years ago, and Facebook bought them. They came out. Then there's the HTC Vive. That is the Cadillac of VR.
Okay.
Like they're talking about, you've got two controllers you can use to play with it, but you need a whole room for that. You put cameras in the corner of the room, and then when you move, it tracks you and does all that stuff. Your action time is still you can take your controller, flip it in the air, and catch it through the VR.
While still watching the video?
Yeah.
No way.
So I actually went down the south side and tried out at an arcade. They actually had an HTC Vive. I paid like $10 for 5 minutes.
Was it worth it?
It was worth it because I played this one demo and like I'm looking around and you look down and you feel like you could fall.
That's cool.
Like all the games, you don't run around. Like
I think some people might have a problem with like the if you feel like you get that sense of vertigo. You get that.
You know why you get that feeling?
Because why?
So
something with your inner ear.
It's actually your body trying to make sure you're not poisoned. Like
what?
Because I read about this. So basically the way it is when you move, your body moves a certain way.
Okay.
So if you feel like you're moving forward, like if your eyes are saying you're moving forward, but your body, like in here, saying you're not moving.
Okay.
Your body's like, wait a second, there might be hallucinating, or we might be sick. We need to get this out of our body. You need to throw up because apparently you ate something bad, like you might have ate a bad mushroom or something. So your body's saying, okay, you're getting this vertigo because you need to get this out of your system so you're not sick.
No kidding.
Some people are more have that more than others.
Yeah, some people are very sensitive.
So that's why some people don't get as sick watching and doing VR as other people do.
I don't think that most people would, even people that are maybe sensitive to that, I don't think this would mess them up.
No, but because the thing is, everything is in the same place. You're not moving.
Right.
Now, if there was an actual game where you're running around and moving and like dodging and weaving, then yeah, you'd probably get sick doing that.
But it was really cool the way that was. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't really so 3D. You didn't feel like I could reach out and grab. I couldn't see something physically there.
Yeah.
Like it was all there, but it was kind of like it was kind of flat screen.
Yeah.
I knew I was looking at pictures, but as you turn, it's like you're surrounded. You're in a big ball of picture.
Yeah.
But
now they have 360 cameras that can take pictures and stitch them together.
I've seen those, and you go on like Facebook and stuff, and it's kind of like how you're on like the cruise ship or something, and you look around, you see the people walking around. It was similar to that, but it was a little bit different. It was still kind of like along the same lines. But I kind of feel like since I had the goggles on, I would have liked to have a little more. It felt like it was all filmed with one camera. At least everything we saw so far. I'm sure there's probably a lot of other stuff, and as this technology advances, you'll probably see a lot more of it.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. That was definitely worth the hype.
For buying a phone and paying $100 for the goggles, that's pretty cheap. The Oculus Rift, I think it's $600-700 just for the headset. Then you need a $2,000 machine just to run the system.
I'm sure as technology comes out, that's all going to drop drastically.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you look at it nowadays, and your phones can do everything and anything. It used to be you could make a phone call, and then whenever text message came out, that was huge. So now your phone is your computer.
So part of one of my other speeches I was doing about self-driving cars. And I was talking about how computers have come a long way. In 1954, IBM made the first mainframe. This thing weighed like 60 ton, took up a room. I think it ran like 40 flops, which is floating operations per second.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, it was like 40,000 floating operations per second. My Samsung Galaxy, I think, can do 6 million floating operations per second. This thing weighs like 8 ounces.
So in English, that means that the video is quicker, faster.
So if you take the decimal point for flops, which is the measurement, and move over like 2 or 3 decimals, so it's like 10,000 times faster.
Okay.
And the weight of this is 8 ounces compared to like a couple ton.
I don't want to do math. You know that you went to college with me. You realize that
this is light as a feather.
Okay.
And does more than that whole room would.
Small, cooler,
faster.
Big room, not as much.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. In English, that's good. Do you think that, as far as like that goggle set, is that something? I think that's going to be the new big gift for Christmas this year.
It may be. But the thing is, that you have to have the right phone. You have to have the goggles. So it has to be like an S6 or 7. And you have to have the goggles. So if they don't have that phone, it's not going to work. So it's not the gift for a season, but it's something people are going to want VR.
Well, really, it plugs into the goggles plug into the phone.
Yeah.
But in general, do you think there's going to be a knockoff version? I bet that there's
Google. There's Google Cardboard that you basically take your phone. It came with a magazine years ago. You take the cardboard out, you put your phone in it, and then you can like look around. You didn't have.
It had the split screen where you could see 2 different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not as good as that is, but it's basically the same thing.
I bet it's going to be huge. I bet you're going to start seeing that.
It will be. VR is going to be huge, but it's not going to be a Christmas gift because that kind of money you need to get involved is.
You don't think it'll be big for this Christmas?
No.
Okay.
Now Sony has one called the Sony View. I think it's a Sony View. It's their version. If you have a PlayStation 4, you buy the headgear and then you can do it. That might be more popular than the GearVR.
Okay. All right. As far as speaking of Christmas, though, and we say Christmas, but there's a lot of other religions and holidays and stuff out there. What's your take on people who say Merry Christmas? Do you say Merry Christmas to strangers? If you run into somebody, you're at the bank or whatever, as you go goodbye, do you go Merry Christmas or do you say Happy Holidays?
I tend to say Happy Holidays now, just so I don't get yelled at. But I usually let them say whatever first, so I know what the...
I think more so, it depends on which side of the line I'm on. When I'm at work and someone says, hey, take care, I say Happy Holidays. It's always Happy Holidays because the world's become too politically correct, and God forbid you might say something that offends somebody. Then you find yourself sitting down in a room with somebody in HR and having a discussion about why you can't do that. But when I'm on the other side of the line, I say Merry Christmas. And I have people, there are family members and friends that I have that I know are, in fact, Jewish. And to them, I will say Merry Christmas. I don't say Happy Hanukkah. I don't think about it. If I do think about it, I will say
I actually do. I try to remember.
You're far more considerate than I am.
Yeah. I try to remember who does what. But I'm also the guy that when I used to do video gaming parties and LAN parties and stuff, I got everyone's food allergies together, so I wouldn't be feeding the guys who left their mushrooms a mushroom pizza.
I don't put that much thought into it. If it's something that is, if we're on that topic of conversation, then I will say, oh, Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Or, I don't really know anybody who celebrates Kwanzaa.
I think the reason I do that also is because I spent a lot of time online talking to people from other countries, other places. I have a friend named Amy for Canada. She's Chinese. She doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. She doesn't celebrate Christmas. There's a lot of holidays she doesn't celebrate. So my running joke is, so do you celebrate this holiday? No. Okay, never mind.
Happy Veterans Day.
Or I'll say, oh, Merry Christmas. She goes, you know I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Well, Thanksgiving's kind of a different one. That's specifically an American holiday.
Yeah.
They don't really celebrate that. I mean, there's other, I guess, equivalents of that in some other countries.
Yeah.
But it's not a religious holiday. It's our country's holiday. It's like our Independence Day.
Yeah.
We have that. It's something that we celebrate as Americans. But Christmas is kind of all over the world.
Yeah.
And there's different people in different places that celebrate Christmas, and it's actually pretty common for people elsewhere to celebrate Christmas. And the people who don't celebrate Christmas celebrate either Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. There's not a whole lot of anybody who doesn't celebrate any of the
Winter solstice.
Okay. What is winter? I don't even really know what that is.
I think that's like the 23rd.
Is that pagans? Like, do they still exist?
I think so.
Is that a real thing out there?
Yeah.
Is that like witchcraft and stuff, though? Or is it like somebody who just made up their own religion?
You have to remember, if you can think of it, someone's doing it.
Right. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
But my thing is this: I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. The winter solstice is like it's that day where it's the longest day of winter, and from then on it's going to start getting lighter. And
so it's Christmas without the Jesus.
I guess
more or less. Do they give gifts?
I don't know, but I know that's a holiday. I made an online card years ago from this was like 7 or 8 years ago. And it was a joke card where I would say I'd have it went on the website. It would say pick your greeting, happy, merry, whatever. And then I have a list of all the holidays that were supposedly like
check one.
Yeah, and you check one, and it'll generate a card. Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, or whatever. And like I put all these holidays in there.
Nice.
And it was hilarious because like I had it was basically you could make a different card every time you wanted.
That's funny.
But the reason I do that because I realized the world's a bigger place, and I thought about it like why do we have so many issues now than we did before? Well, before everyone didn't communicate like the speed of light.
Right.
For example, Pony Express 10 days to get your letter someplace, or overseas might take a couple months to get there. Now you've got instantaneous
or a text.
Yeah. So our cities and towns were very small. So if you lived in a town who were all say Jewish or all Christian or all Catholic, like usually the cities are all the same thing.
Right.
They never interacted with people outside of their area.
So they live in their own little bubble where that's what it is.
So that's all there is. But then all of a sudden you've got these big cities and you have a little bit of everybody there. So then you've got the Jewish kid, and you got all the Catholic kids who celebrate Christmas. He's like, well, what's this Christmas? We do Hanukkah. And then either...
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the majority says, well, that guy's weird. He doesn't celebrate. We celebrate. And that's how all this crap gets started, because we don't realize there's more than just our point of view.
So for me, it's not even so much a matter of like the respect level of it. When I wish somebody a Merry Christmas or if I say Happy Holidays or whatever, it's not a matter of me trying to impose any part of my.
Well, that's the other thing. There's the people who generally don't know,
right? Or
they don't know anything about it, and then there are people who are like, my way's the only way. If you're not doing my way, you're completely wrong.
I don't really know anybody who ever is offended by it. Like the Jewish folks that I do know. Don't get upset. If you say Merry Christmas, they go, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
They don't say Happy Hanukkah. They don't try to push their thing.
You have different types of people. You got the people who do that. And then you go, I don't celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Hanukkah. So don't wish me Merry Christmas. Right. You've got all sorts of people.
Well, those people are just a-holes in general, though. Like, that's not even a religious thing. You just are a douchebag because you're a douchebag.
Yeah.
And we're in a different, like you said, like, now there's much more interaction amongst communities and stuff. Like, and it really, like, if you look back in the day, like there was neighborhoods were broken into. This is the Irish neighborhood, and that's the Italian. There's where the Polish live, and you don't really see so much of that now. Like Squirrel Hill is still mostly a Jewish community, but outside of that, you can't pick a neighborhood and go, that's primarily one or the other. Like you don't see that nowadays, like it used to be back. Whenever, when we were growing up, or even like whenever our parents were growing up. And I think that's changed a lot of the way that people look at it. It used to be you only said Merry Christmas. Nobody thought about saying Happy Holidays. That wasn't a thing that people did. But I think there's definitely that difference in mentality, and we've discussed this before, where the older generation versus the newer generation and the drastic differences in them and how the just society has changed so much between the two different ones. Where like if you say to an older somebody who's maybe celebrates Kwanzaa, and if you say Merry Christmas to an older, they probably will let it go. But if you say it to somebody who's younger who celebrates Kwanzaa, they might go, oh, no, wait, listen, come on, that's not what I do. And it's a little more, I don't want to say it's sensitive, but it's a little more sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
The younger generation is definitely a little more touchy about what you can and can't say, and there's a lot more political correctness in the world today than there used to be. It's a double-edged sword. It is good that we are all learning to be more accepting and understanding.
There needs to be a balance. You've got the extremes, and you've got the middle. I try to be in the middle. Like I said, because of me talking to a lot of people online, I have a lot of friends from other countries. Like I have friends in New Zealand, I have friends in Australia, I have friends in London, all the Philippines, and I realize they celebrate different stuff.
Right.
So sometimes when you're wishing away like Happy Thanksgiving, what's this Thanksgiving you're talking about? That might not even be in their culture.
Yeah, they don't realize it. But I don't think, are they offended?
No.
No, they're just kind of like, that's not my thing.
Exactly.
And it's good because we're all snowflakes and we all get to be our own individual people, whereas it didn't used to be like that. But I think even if you look at the communities, the younger community versus the older community, the younger community, they are so much more, there's a different set of beliefs and a modesty and a structure to the way that they think, the way they act, the way they feel. They're much more built on who they are as a person, as opposed to who they are as a community. There's a bigger sense of community with the older generations. Yeah. They look at themselves more of, I am part of, it's like they say they're a keystone in the arch as opposed to being another brick in the wall.
Yeah.
Where the younger crew is more, they're more of, I am this, I'm very specific on me, and I'm meant to be judged just as me. Whereas the older group of people, they look at themselves as the brick in the wall. They are part of a bigger, better, greater thing.
Yeah.
It's not so much, what am I, what do I do, what am I about? It's more of like, I mean, it is. It's more about what am I part of as opposed to who am I individually. They still have their own individual personalities and such. You can't take that away from someone. But I think if you make a point out of it, somebody who's the older, like you look at our parents' generation, they're not going to get offended if you say, hey, you're one of those guys who, you're the bricklayer or the steel workers or whatever. Like they're part of that group. They go, yeah, I am. There's a pride. There's a sense in it. Like you were saying before about your uncle being in the Marine Corps, and like that's something that people of the older generation pride themselves on that. Yeah. You get an old Marine, he goes, I'm a Marine. And he's always been a Marine. He always will be a Marine. Yeah. Whereas the younger crowd are more, I'm so much more than that. Yes, you are. We all are. But you don't have. That doesn't mean you can't be part of this group. But you see a lot of it.
The other thing I notice is like when it comes to people like stereotypes on Facebook, like people say, "Oh, well, the Pennsylvania people are crazy because of this and that." It's like you're stereotyping until you actually call me out specifically. Anything that's said, I don't really care. Oh, well, most black people, they like to rape, pillage, and steal. Yeah, that's not my bag.
You do like grape juice, though. Grape drink. That's a true stereotype.
Rape, pillage, and
grape. No, but I'm saying grape.
Yes, grape. And some things.
Grape, menthol cigarettes, and
some things. I mean, when you look at an individual,
fried chicken. You
can't. Usually, when you do a stereotype, you cannot include somebody in a stereotype.
No, right. And stereotypes are built off of ignorance and prejudice. Yes. There may be all Irish people are drunks. Yeah. No, some are. Yeah. Maybe a lot more than not. Or not.
It's all about sample size. If you take a small sample size and you put everybody in that sample that you want to say that's what everybody does, then yeah. Because that's what they do with advertising. It's like 9 out of 10 doctors. But you know how many doctors they had to ask to get 9 out of 10?
Right.
Like if you ask...
They picked 9 who said yes and then 1 who said no to say those 9.
Exactly. Compared to if I actually go to every doctor and ask every single one, your number's going to be different.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They fudge the numbers to meet what it is they want to portray, or they select those specific people who are in that field or have that belief or, to say, okay, what is your opinion on this versus this when they already know the answer that they're going to get.
So remember, kids, when you think about a stereotype and you're about to say something stereotypical, think, does everybody fall in this category? If they don't say it.
Oh, I say it anyways. And then you get mad at me. Right? But and that's kids are like that more so. Like when you look at so even like beyond that, you say like the modesty of the younger generation is very different than the older generation.
What modesty? Everything's on Snapchat and Facebook.
Well, but it's more selected. It's very there's a certain sense of, and as a younger person, even us, and I'm sure you have this vanity about you where you have like certain, you only want to be perceived in a certain way.
Exactly.
But you always want to be the biggest and the best.
Yeah.
The younger, I think that the younger crowd has this certain sense of vanity that jumps in with, I don't think they're going to outgrow this mentality of they have to be something more unique and more special. There's no sense of we have a common bond. So in some ways they embrace it. It's much better of a society to say, I don't care that you are gay or black or whatever you happen to be, your race and your religion and your beliefs and your choices in life are more acceptable within, a certain confine.
Yeah.
But they're more accepting of that. But in a way, they're not as accepting of themselves. I can't tell you how many times I went to the gym and some old guy is standing there with his stuff hanging out. He's blow drying his nut bag, standing on the bench like Captain Morgan, his nuts waving in the wind. He's got the Marine flag tattooed on him. I don't know whether to salute him or throw up, because he just doesn't care. He's like, we're all people. We have all the same parts. They just don't care. But like the younger crowd, it's not like that. They're very modest. They're very concerned with what it is they have going on, who they are, and they only want you to perceive them in a certain way.
Yeah.
So their sense of modesty, it's done a flip-flop where you can now text someone a picture of your junk, but where you couldn't and wouldn't do that. You look at our parents back in the day, they wouldn't do something like that. But the younger crowd, they do stuff like that. You find pictures of girls, standing and taking a picture of their butt in the mirror and things like that, where you wouldn't have that in days prior. But it's more, they pick and choose how it is, and with they more, it's staged more than it ever would have been. People of an older generation are more comfortable with themselves, who they are in society, who they are as a person. Mm-hmm. There's not as much modesty, and some of it comes with age, but I think a lot of it just comes with society. Yep, is my point on that one. I'm not even sure where I was going with that. So.
Yep, but we're gonna wrap it up for now because
Joe was talking about old guys' nut bags.
Not that, but about a minute or two, the video recorder will just stop.
All right, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back again next time.
Yep. See you later. Oh, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about our podcast.